they find out that as a foreigner, you basically cannot get a mortgage here, like a local Vietnamese.
Actually, it's a wrong conclusion, but I understand why they jump right into it. All right, so the thing that shocked the Western investor again will be the no mortgage, but it's not a deal breaker.
So we put it all together. Imagine if I am a foreigner buyers or like a VIFC, what should they be concerned in this scenario? Hello everyone, welcome back to Realtique. Another podcast today come from us. And my name is Justin and this is
Casey.
Hello everyone, hope everyone having a lovely day today. And thank you for watching and always come back to the Realtique channel. If there's any comment or any questions, please reach out to us at any time. Alrighty, another postcard topic today. Thank you Casey for joining us and let's get to it. So lately we have had a real estate investor. They're all flying from the US and to look up the properties around Vietnam and also in Ho Chi Minh City. And almost every one of them is surprised by one same thing. They find out that as a foreigner, you basically cannot get a mortgage here, like a local Vietnamese people.
Right.
That's not a common thing in the overseas countries, as from my knowledge. So, and it isn't just Americans. That's applied into all the countries in overseas, like UK, France, and also New Zealand and Australia. So,
Right.
Casey, can you please explain a little bit about this problem?
Well, I don't know why they have such a surprise. Is a mortgage something very normal in those countries?
So, it isn't just normal, it's the default. As someone like myself who lived in overseas for a long time, it's almost how everyone buys a house over there. So they put down the deposit payment and then they go to the bank and get the loan. And usually it doesn't matter how much for the payment, it's more about the loan itself. So today we're gonna discuss and analyze three main things. Number one, why no mortgage feels so strange to the Western buyer.
Right.
And number two, what are the local tools that actually use instead of getting the mortgage? And number three, the part that nobody connects. Why the next 10 years of infrastructure could be the real story here. Stay with us.
All right. So Justin just set the scene for us, right? In the US, UK, and then France, Australia. Could you please tell me how the property purchase usually work over there with the mortgage?
All right, so depends if you find out the unit or the house that you like and follow the rules of the projects, you put down around 5 to 10% for deposit. It was 10 years ago, but now I think you have to put a bit more for the down payment.
Okay.
10 to 15 or 20%.
You're
of
talking
the value
from Australia, right?
in Australia
Okay.
in general. So 80% of the money from the unit had to come to the mortgage
The bank.
from the bank.
Right.
So people usually go to the bank first and ask how much they could borrow, how much for the mortgage, and then they use that apply to the unit they like. If they could afford the down payment, like 10% or 15%, and they could afford the interest rate from that bank, and then they will go to that proceed. But if not, they find another bank, another unit, or another way to get the down payment.
All right. So the Western investors' entire mental model is just based on the leverage.
Of the bank, yes.
So they will think what's my down payment and what's my monthly, right?
Yes, exactly. So as I mentioned before, when you put down the deposit, usually 10 to 20% depends on where you come from. It could be different in US, in France, or in Australia.
Right.
And it's getting more and more just to make sure the people that actually have the money to secure that unit, rather than they just go around and buy a lot of units, where they just put down 5% for the deposit. So and the bank fund the rest of the money over 25 or 30 years. It depends on the contract. And the mortgage isn't the exception. It's the engine of the whole market. So in the US right now, imagine like 30-year fix is around 6.5% for the interest rate. In the UK, the average is 4.8, which is quite low compared to the US. And in France, for a strong borrower, roughly 3 to 3.5 on a 25 years loan, 3 to 3.5. It's quite low, right, isn't it? And in Australia, surprisingly, the owner occupiers, they have to pay 5.9 for the interest rate to get the mortgage.
All right. Yeah, I really think that the way all of the Western buyers just based on the leverage. So that's how they think. And when they come to Vietnam, maybe some problem will be occur because
It's not a common thing here.
Right.
So we don't actually issue the mortgage to the overseas people. And actually quite strange that the local people here, they don't usually take the mortgage as a common thing. It could be, 50-50. Some people have really strong cash flow and they choose use that and then they make all the payments in a different terms.
Right.
And the rest of the people, they go to the bank and get the loan.
So I understand that why the Westerners, when they come here and they immediately feel like there's no mortgage for them and they think like this isn't the game for them and then they jump into the wrong conclusion and right away they just don't want to go forward with it, right?
So exactly, they don't ask, do they have to get the full price in cash? The cash flow, even they do have the cash flow, they never put the whole cash flow from their financial into the unit mortgage. They divide them into different ones, like investment. So they ask, we service the loan here, and the leverage is how they scale.
Right.
So one deposit controls a much bigger assets. So when they land in Vietnam and the bank says no, the first reaction isn't anger, it's confusion. Why is different here and why it's different from anywhere else around the world? So their whole playbook just stopped working. So, and that's where most of them get stuck. They assume no mortgage means no deal in Vietnam. And can you please tell us a little bit about that one? Is that actually no mortgage, no deal?
Actually, it's a wrong conclusion, but I understand why they jump right into it.
Why can a foreigner get a mortgage here and other banks just being difficult because they're not local, because different source of the financial that the bank can check? Can you please give some explanation?
Right. So the key here is like the problem is legal, not about the commercial. So if the foreign the property goes into default, right? Actually seizing it and resell it is legally messy in Vietnam.
Okay.
So the banks doesn't want it because it's too risky for them.
Right.
So a couple of international banks like HSBC or Vietcombank may advertise the home loans for foreigners. However, they will need your work permit and the temporary residence card or the Vietnamese spouse on the title in order to activate such a loan for the foreigners.
There's a lot of rules and procedures
So
to,
for the
to get that
foreigners,
mortgage.
The door is mostly closed.
It's almost like a no-go
Right.
for foreigners.
It's very difficult, many steps for it.
So even when like a local Vietnamese people here, when they get a mortgage, it wasn't that easy. And the interest rates are not even that low for the local people here either.
Exactly. So, for example, like us, we are locals, we are Vietnamese, and we just see the teaser rate around 8 to 10% for the first 1 to 2 years. And after that, it flows up to 11, 12, and sometimes
which is
14%.
Incredibly high
a year
compared to the other country that we just mentioned before.
Double, triple, right? It's
Almost
a lot.
triple.
It's crazy, right? So, however, the local don't level up the way the Westerner does, and this is the cash market, by the way. Once you accept that, you stop fighting it and start using the tool that actually build on it.
Okay. So what tool are you talking about?
There's something called the off-plan payment. So let me give you a better explanation of what off-plan payments are.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so off-plan payment, that's the one you're discussing about now.
So the off-plan means you buy a unit in a project, right? And that's still under construction. And then
it's not finished yet.
Right. So you will make the payment payment per payment depending on the construction progress.
Okay.
And usually the off-plan payment will come with the payment schedule stretch from 18 months to 24 months and sometimes 36 months.
Absolutely.
Right. And It doesn't work like a mortgage, but somehow it stretch your cash over time instead of demanding it all of it at once.
Absolutely.
Right.
So as investor from overseas, even like they couldn't get a mortgage, but with the offline projects, they can spread out the cash flow that they having. So
Right.
easy for them to contribute, divide, and invest exactly where they would like to be.
Right, and also there are the real legal guardrails for the such project that the buyers can buy. So the by law, the first installment, including your deposit, cannot exceed 30% of the contract value.
Okay.
All right. So and the total you pay before the handover cannot exceed like 70%. So the last 30% is due when you actually receive the apartment, the handover with its paperwork. And actually, the last 5% you only pay when you got the playbook. The playbook is like the paper deed of the apartment. So many developers also add grace periods or interest support to make the schedule even easier. But again, when we mention about the grace period or the interest support, it only works for the locals because
Alright.
only the locals can reach the mortgage.
Okay. So actually, there's the law to protect and secure the buyers
Right.
in terms of the payments. So you don't have to pay the full amount until you actually see the project in
Right.
person.
Correct.
So in practice, a buyer might put in 15 or 20% now and chip in along the way and only settle when the book near handover.
Right. So
So-
that's the rhythm, right? You can see you are financing through the developer's timeline instead of the bank's loan. And it isn't working the same way the leverage in the Western countries work, but it gives you an option of stretch your money over time. So yeah,
I think that's the thing that makes the difference.
and that's also the solution because the foreigners, they cannot reach the mortgage, right? But if they can borrow, then that's the difference between being locked down completely with having another solution like we just mentioned, upland, which we give them
More time.
the stretching time and give them the way into the game.
Okay, right, yep. So that I think that's the beauty and the interesting point
Right.
of the planned projects.
Right.
That's currently happening a lot in
Exactly.
Ho Chi Minh City right
And
now.
it works for the locals, all of us, right? When the Westerners, the foreigners, they come in Vietnam, and they should change their game plan too. And this is a different game plan.
So what you say now, the mortgage, because the overseas people don't get the mortgage, but that's still the common thing in Vietnamese local.
Right.
We don't get the mortgage here either.
We don't get the mortgage.
We spread out the time.
Just look at the interest rate. How can
It's
we deal with
crazy,
that?
yeah.
11 to 14%.
And that's for local people, everyone, not just for overseas. We don't triple the rates. We don't differentiate or do different things with the local or overseas people. It's all applying to the same people.
Right.
That's why mortgage is just an option here. We don't actually use mortgage as a must to get the unit in Vietnam.
Exactly.
So, okay, stretching the payments only matters if the asset is worth holding. So let's get to the part you keep calling the real story, Casey.
All right, this is a very interesting part, and I think Vietnam changed a lot recently. And the thing that makes Vietnam change is its infrastructure. All right, so here's a thesis, and I'll be careful and call it a projection, not a promise. All right. So I think the window from roughly from now is 2026, right? So the window is from 2030 to 2035.
So 4 years from now.
Yeah.
4
so-
years from now,
So the
2030.
Vietnamese property along the right corridors could double, or even some pockets will be triple.
In terms of the price?
Yeah, in terms of the price, not because of the high, but because of what physically being built right now.
Double or triple the price is incredibly good. And you are quite strongly confident to claim that.
Right.
So what makes you think that really strong build that enough for you to make that statement, Casey?
All right. This podcast is a very interesting podcast because it gives myself a better analysis into the market of Vietnam, and I'm very happy to share it with the viewers.
We would love to hear.
So because we are only watch a smaller version happen, right? So if you remember the story that in Ho Chi Minh City we had the first metro line,
The metro line number one.
Right, complete by the beginning of 2024.
It is.
Right, so all of the property projects along the metro line and go through the metro line number one.
Was booming.
Yeah, we can name it all of them like on the in the Thảo Điền
Thảo Điền
area.
area,
right?
yes, as
so
I
the price went up like
see.
30 to 50% just in that year, just because
The metro line.
Yeah, just because the metro line one
So
opened.
it's all about infrastructure.
Right. So that's the transit-oriented effect, and it isn't a theory anymore, right? So you saw it, and it's already proved. And now the picture will be the same. We have the same effect, but now we have the new infrastructure. I'm talking about the new airport, the second metro line, a deep sea port, and a financial center, all landing inside the same decade.
That's a wonderful picture that I could imagine.
Right.
As a lot of things happen, and you say metro line number one, number two is happening, the metro line to the airport, a lot of things.
Right.
But why they all of a sudden happening right now? Why don't slowly build from the last 10 years? And why all of a sudden, like the things, I know it's build up the market. Everything go along the lines, will booming and developing. But why now? And why they are rushing to it?
So this is like we have to actually read between the lines in order to answer this question, because it's happening out there too fast for us to understand why Vietnam has to do everything.
Is there a deadline for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Must be.
There's a deadline. Why there's a deadline? Because like of the three following forces pushing on the same level, right? To make all of these infrastructure to go up on the other level. So the first one is the middle income trap. Right, so the Vietnam has the public target to go to the upper middle income by 2030.
So we are in the middle now.
No, we are not in the middle yet, but we are about to reach to the middle.
Okay.
So when we reach to the middle, we will have to face with the middle income trap. By the way, the middle income trap means like the GDP, the people like ratio income increase too high, and then it will like affect the labor cost. Right, and then it will affect the FDI running into Vietnam because of our current advantage is on a low labor cost.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
I think that's what happened to Thailand 10 years ago.
Many countries in Asia,
like Asia, Southeast Asia countries.
So and the second thing we have to mention will be like the demographics. Right. So Vietnam is in the golden population right now. And the
with
window,
the young generation, the senior one, the experts.
Yeah. So, but
this is a golden age.
Golden age doesn't last forever, right? Everyone knows it. Vietnam, especially the Vietnam government, knows it very well, and we can actually watch the surround countries and understand from their pain, from their own problems very well.
Right.
So just want to give you a hint that the windows start closing. Okay, the golden age of Vietnam start closing
soon
by the mid of 2030. So by the time of 2035 onward, the Vietnam population will getting old. Right.
Okay. So that's the first force, as you mentioned.
Second one. And the third one is the momentum, right? At the weight, income goal, and the demographic clock sits on one side of the scale, and that's the force lifting the other side, right? The infrastructure of the route. So it has to take off right now because the math doesn't work if it doesn't.
So tell us a little bit about this one, as you say. So the momentum. So as you say, as like the demographic, when it's clock, sit on one side of the scale, and we have to deal with the other side of the scale.
Right. So for example, the scale has two levels, right? So now it's balanced, but when you put like the demographic pressure, and then when you put like the what is the first one? The demographic, and then the middle income trap, right? So the other level of the scale, like we have the momentum that Fox Vietnam have to go up, have to build the infrastructure faster to deal with them, to keep everything
so we're
balanced.
Gonna get ready before things happening in 2030 to balance it out. And from the same story happened to the other Southeast Asia, like Thailand, we try to avoid that. We try to prevent the things that happened to them before when they reach to the middle level of income. All right, that's interesting point from Casey. And so connect all the dots. How do these projects actually depends on each other in terms of this scenario, Casey?
All right. So we need to start with the Long Thanh Airport. Technically opened in December, like last
At the
year.
end of this year?
Last year, right, already, but
we all heard.
we had the delay.
Okay.
So the phase one is targeting the commercial flights around the middle or maybe the end of this year. So the 25 million passengers a year, and the plan is to route about 80% of the international flights from the current airport, Tân Sơn Nhất Airport, toward the Long Thanh Airport.
They will move.
Yeah.
Like 80%, you said?
About that. So a mega airport with no fast way from the city to it is a disaster.
That has to be the way to flow the people. They wouldn't fly to Long Thanh Airport if there is no connecting transportation from that airport to somewhere they would like to go.
Right. So currently, right now, without any connection, right, it would take us about like more than an hour of like traffic jam and then bad street to come from the city center to the Long Thanh Airport.
They aren't worth it.
It's a disaster, right? Right now, we have a better solution. It just takes about 30 minutes to
By
go
the metro?
to go to the current airport, right? Tân Sơn Nhất. So why people have to go longer way, take longer time to
and
go.
they have to travel back to the CBD area. So we need to find something for them to travel.
So that's why the Metro Line 2 broke the route in the beginning of this year and this is the must to finish before 2030. And then they also like widen along with the metro station, there's an expressway called Long Thanh Dầu Dây Expressway, and they have to also widen it to be like double.
The lanes?
Yeah, the lanes. So like in order to have the connection between the city to the new airport smoother, we have to get the metro line open, and we have the passengers commute from the city center to the new airport within 30 minutes.
Okay. They always have to be happening in all together.
And it have to complete before the new Long Thanh Airport.
Absolutely.
And again, you see the new Long Thanh Airport already has a deadline, right?
Which is 2030, as you mentioned?
The end of 2030. So this is the deadline of the Long Thanh Airport, and then the Metro 2 deadline we have to be before it. So everything we have to be ready in order to have the Long Thanh Airport kickstart.
Interesting. All right, and the Cần Giờ port, that's the one we've been hearing from the news. So where would that be, and what that fit in this scenario?
So again, we see Vietnam really has a lot of ambition, not just only about a mega airport, right? It's Vietnam also like aim for the sea mega port, deep sea port.
It's called Cần Giờ.
Yeah, to close the loop. So we had the air logistics from the new Long Thanh Airport, and we had the sea logistics from the Cần Giờ.
For the cargo thing.
Right. So the Cần Giờ International Transshipment Port started construction in the April of this year, and they spent about $5 billion, and with the MSC, the world's largest shipping line, holding 49% in order to develop it.
That's MSC you're talking about.
Right. So deep sea port moves a huge flow of goods through Vietnam, and that flow brings money up on the whole chain. And in the previous podcast, we had the VIFC Financial Center, like sitting on top of that. And so you have the air, you have the sea, you have the transit, and you have the capital all covering. Each one will be like along is meaningful, but together reprise everything around them.
Okay, that's the wonderful news.
Right.
Once they all connecting together.
It's a huge plan. You see,
it's
like
a huge way.
Bigger picture right now, right?
Alrighty. So let's make it concrete. If someone's watching and wants to position which projects sit on these corridors, Casey?
I'll tie them to the infrastructure, right? So now we don't have actually both locals and foreigners. We don't actually need to stick into only one option on the menu anymore. It's no longer about like the properties in the center to have the best role or to have the best momentum of value increase. but actually the property sitting on the corridors where the infrastructure are being built.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say like we have some corridors like that, like along the eastern corridor to Thủ Thiêm and Long Thành. Like I said, we had the Metro Line 2, right? And that area is called the Nam Rạch Chic, and we have a lot of projects there. Not a lot, but actually a few projects there that still have available stock for everyone to consider, like the Global City, the Eaton Park, and then upcoming will be the Palm River, right? And that's on the beginning of the Metro Line station, and on the end of the Metro Line station where the Bình Dương New City is, we have the Orchard Collection, we have the Nest, and we will have a few more phases that in the Bình Dương New City area. And by the way, Bình Dương New City area will be connected to the Ho Chi Minh City Center by the Metro Line 2.
There will be another metro line there.
No, just the same thing. The Metro Line 2 will be...
they connect, make it longer one.
Right, and then the thing is like the Bình Dương New City is like a plan for the high-tech industrial zone. So when you go there, you will see like it's actually a very well planned, where it developed. It's like a new Singapore over there with a lot of
buildings, offices,
and industrial park surrounding.
They're gonna attract a lot of experts and engineering people from around the world to be working there.
Correct.
And they all tour to the coast?
Coast, yes. There's actually one infrastructure connecting the center to the coast, which is Vũng Tàu, Vũng Tàu City, right? So we have recently we had the Biên Hòa Expressway connecting faster from
Biên Hòa, Đồng Nai City to Vũng Tàu.
And we can see the projects over there called the Blanca City by Sunrip, and which is also very developed and attracts a lot of buyers recently.
And how about the Cần Giờ port, as you mentioned before? Is there any project that come along with that port?
Yes, we also have especially the Cần Giờ is like I said, Cần Giờ has a deep sea port and close there, and we will have another metro line connecting from city center to the District 7 and to the Cần Giờ.
Right.
And Cần Giờ we will have the Cần Giờ another project of Vinhomes in Cần Giờ. We call it the Vinhomes Green Paradise, which is like a coastal mega city by the Vingroup.
Okay, it's called Vinhome Green Paradise.
Yes.
How long has it been? When will it be finished? And is there any hints, any nice project that's outstanding that could attract people's attention? Casey?
Well, the project is a kickstart in the beginning of this year, and it's a huge project. So yes, we have a lot of phases which is going to be released soon, and the foreigners can also buy. But currently, right now, they are only selling the townhouses only.
Townhouse only, not the apartments yet.
So for the townhouses over there, they don't sell to the foreigners yet. But the apartments, so you need to keep an eye on the area too.
Vinhome Green Paradise.
Yeah,
everyone.
when the apartments are released.
Keep an eye on it.
It's a good way. It's a good option too.
All right, thank you, Casey. So the move isn't just buy in Vietnam; it's buy on a corridor that's about to get a piece of this infrastructure. As Casey just mentioned, all the infrastructure that's happening soon to be until the end of 2030.
Exactly. So this is the whole new point, right? So I want you to really adapt this concept, because if you don't, you will be passed by the other investor who got this new.
You might miss a few opportunities.
Right, because usually before, the location used to mean from the distance to the downtown, right? But for the next decade, the location means the distance to the new infrastructure. In the real estate business, we always talk about location.
Yep.
And location before always stick with the downtown. But in the next decade, it will change, and the location will have to stick with the new infrastructure.
Okay, not just the downtown anymore.
Right.
Like before. So let's be honest though, this is a serious audience, everyone. What could go wrong if in this scenario, what could people should be concerned because they come into the Vietnam project?
Yeah, I like these questions. We just gave them the viewers the pros and now deal with the cons, right? So there are three things I would like to flag. The first one is
Three things?
the timeline slip, right? So especially we are talking about the big infrastructure runs late everywhere, right? And Vietnam is no exception. And so don't underwrite a deal that only works if everything opens on the schedule. Right. So the fourth, the minute a story like this, go on the mainstream, you will understand that a lot of people will want to speculate the market and increase the price and do a lot of crazy things in order to go ahead of the infrastructure can complete.
Okay, so you're saying don't wait and don't just look at the projects that the infrastructure already been like processing. There's some delayed. There's something running like just a lot like out the books. So that's still the chance for investor to look at, right?
No, like we are talking about three things. The fraud, three things that we need to flag. So the first thing is the delay of infrastructure can happen. The second thing is like the fraud, which means like there will be the speculators, the people who get this news and then they will just buy the more properties and then they will just keep the properties and increase the property and speculate the market like that.
Okay.
Right.
They actually influence the market from the way they buy.
Right. In a bad way.
And number three flag?
The third one is the off-land risk. So you're trusting developer to finish. What if they don't finish? You will be stuck with them, right? So
if
make
the
sure,
project's not finished.
So make sure you.
What would happen though? Yeah.
You're stuck with them. Right? There are many projects still stalled right now, like 5 years, 10 years hasn't complete, and buyers have to run through a lot of stressful events and then pressure and then wasting time with the developer just to get the money back.
Right.
So you don't want to work with those developers.
Okay.
So you have to choose the right developers, international developers or the local developers with a good tracking records.
Okay, like depend on the developer.
Right, in order
and
to keep the
people.
construction progress on time.
Absolutely. So because this is important, so I would like to finalize the three things that Casey just mentioned. So number one, that's the thing that there's the delays in every infrastructure anyway.
Exactly.
So you should check and be aware of which infrastructure that's happening in Vietnam right now. Second, a lot of buyers buy the projects and hoping to resell that in the higher price.
Right.
That might affect the market in this case. And number three, that would be the not like the right developers that build the finish on time, and they might not even finish. So we might be stuck with them in this case.
I call them the group of unreliable developers.
The unreliable developers.
Right.
That's the right way to call it. So how does a smart foreign buyer de-risk all of that, the three things you just mentioned?
It's easy, just do the different way, right?
Okay.
So buy the quality and near complete or completed inventory from a strong developer on a corridor when the infrastructure hold, even if the timeline affects, right? Or if the timeline trips or delay, right? So if the infrastructure lands on the time, that's upside. If it slips a couple of years, you still own a good asset in the right location. And you're not gambling on an announcement, right? You are buying the fundamentals and getting the infrastructure as a bonus. So that's where you always will be the winner of your own game.
Okay, right. Thank you, Casey. So we put it all together. Imagine if I am a foreign buyer or like a VQ. If someone like that, people, audience here watching that, what should they actually play? What should they be concerned in this scenario when they are thinking about buying a project in Vietnam?
All right, so there are three steps. The first one, drop the mortgage mindset.
Drop the mortgage mindset off, so it's no longer in the picture.
Yeah, you are a cash buyer here, so you have to use the off plan to spread that cash across the construction timeline. That's your leverage substitute, right? So
I
the
think that's
second,
a nice leverage that people could use.
right. The second thing, pick the corridor, not just the city or the city center. Anchor your choice to a real piece of infrastructure like the airport, the metro line, the port, the financial center, right? And the third one is to choose the developer and the paperwork as a foreigner, the foreign ownership quota, and the legal steps matter as much as the price.
And the third part is exactly where buyer flying in from overseas needs someone on the ground like Casey to actually analyze, give them more inside information,
That's
and
it.
go through with them.
Yeah, that's what we are doing every day, helping the investor line up the right corridor, the right developer, and the payment schedule that fits how they actually move money across borders.
I think speaking of that, I know the projects are everywhere. Mortgage agents, real estate agents are everywhere. But to let people who actually understand the market and analyze which one is the most fit with your financial income, with your currently status of what you would like to invest in Vietnam.
Right.
So I think that you have to come to KC for any of real estate agent market
Yes,
in Vietnam
please.
to help you out with that. So all right, come to the last of this podcast, Casey. Give people one thing to walk away with from your interesting point of view in terms of the infrastructure and the mortgage that you just mentioned before.
All right, so the thing that shocked the Western investor again will be the no mortgage, but it's not a deal breaker, okay? It's a signal that this is a different market with a different playbook, right? So our plan is how you finance it, and the 2030 infrastructure wave is why you want to go in the market right now. And the people who learn the playbook early as will be the ones who benefit the most.
Absolutely. So I just gonna repeat what Casey just said, so everyone don't miss out the really useful information. So first thing, you the off the plan projects
Right.
to spread out the cash flow that you are about to invest. Second, stick with the infrastructure, the things that building up and on the process
Right.
by the end of 2030. So don't miss out the chance right now
Right.
to come to that opportunities. All right, so just name a few projects from the overseas like me. Like if someone that's watching like an investor from overseas, VQ, what would the outstanding projects around the Ho Chi Minh City that you could name that they could consider?
Well, we can just apply the lesson we just learned from this podcast, right? Again, we need to choose the right developer.
Absolutely.
And then we have to choose the corridor where the infrastructure will be complete.
Okay,
And
the
then
town.
with a good, decent, suitable off-plan payment. So all of these three criteria will only give you a few options on the menu right now, which will be the global city.
Global City, the one in the south, the Realtique.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the Eaton Park and
Eaton
then
Park.
Palm River.
Yeah, they're all next door, right?
Right,
They're close to each
they're
other.
all in one area. And then we have another, the next infrastructure will be like the Metro Line 2 will lead on the way to the Bình Dương new city, and we will have a couple of projects there. Also from very well-known developer, international one like Capital Land. We have the Orchard Collection, or Bekamex Tokyo from Japan. We have the Nest. And then another infrastructure with another developer close to the Cần Giờ port. We will have the Vinhomes, Green Paradise, Cần Giờ. Yeah. So again, there are just a few options like and the most recently with the announcement of the Metro Line 6 close to the Phú Hữu port, we have another international developer called Cable Land. They are developing a new project there called Gladia Heights.
Gladia Heights.
Right. So you see, there are not many projects.
Okay.
Not many options.
But anyway, if people would like to get the deep information about these projects, stay with us. They might be our topic for the next podcast.
Yes.
We dig into the projects, analyze everything, and Casey would give you more actually the information that you can actually use to come to think if you consider to buy this project. Alrighty, I think that is a wrap of today's postcard. Thank you, Casey, for a very interesting point about the mortgage for lender in Vietnam as an overseas people. Thank you for watching and stay with us until the end of the postcard. Any question, any comments, any advice, anything that you are curious about, just please reach out to us with the link below, the information that from the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you and bye bye.